Today's show is sponsored by Profit Accumulator, the UK's #1 match betting service. So what is match betting? It's a method that's used by individuals to profit from free bets and incentives offered by bookmakers. By leveraging one bookie's offer against another bookie's offer, it's possible to ensure that the odds are in your favour. And when you sign up to Profit Accumulator, they will walk you through how to do match betting with their easy to follow video guides. Profit Accumulator have a friendly 7-day-a-week customer support team that will help you with any questions that you might have. So what are you waiting for? Click the link in the description and you can start your Profit Accumulator journey today and you won't regret it. Hi and welcome along to AFTV. This is Full Time, the show where we take a look at the game at the weekend. Of course, it was Burnley 1, Arsenal 1. I'm hosting today, no Cecil. He's got a prior engagement today. You know he does his, have you ever seen that short ad? Right, the double up, that's actually Cecil. He does a lot of little body double work and he's doing some work today for a very, very famous footballer. He actually comes back after it thinking he is that footballer. The only thing is he can't play like him, that's the only thing. But big up Cecil, but I'm hosting today and I've got, as usual, James joining me and we have the beautiful Helen. You catch her after every game, after the watch-alongs, taking your opinions on how it all went. You know what, Helen, I didn't realise until today that it's actually National Women's Day.
Yep, it is.
That's not the reason we brought you on. We just bring you on because you're brilliant football knowledge, but seeing as it is National Women's Day, I'm just glad that we did get you on as the,
perfect
you know, that fitted,
yeah,
right?
It's lovely.
But we are here to talk about the game. Of course, it finished Burnley 1, Arsenal 1. It was very disappointing. It felt like a loss after the game because we went 1-0 up. We didn't concede straight away like we've been doing in a lot of the games, but we couldn't hold on to it. And the manner in which we didn't win that game, you know, the missed chances, you know, the game is surrounded in controversy and we're going to get into it right now. James, first of all, talk us through the starting lineup of the game.
Yeah, it seems the logical place to start with these sort of shows because that's the first thing before the ball is kicked. We're always having debates, aren't we, on social media, here on the Starting 11 show. I wasn't too disappointed with what I saw. If anything, I was kind of happy. I saw, you know, we both said we wanted to see more rotation ahead of Olympiacos, but I can't fault a manager for going for it more than I would have, let's say. Obviously, it didn't pan out, so we didn't win, but minutes for Odegaard, Xhaka, Aubameyang. Anything else that's surprising? Chambers coming in?
Chambers, yeah, Helen, you had a theory in it of why Chambers came in, which we didn't even kind of think of. But tell us about that.
So my theory is that teams like Burnley have a strategy when they play Arsenal. They will target what they foresee as a weakness in the side, and I've often noticed that teams like that target Bellerin with the diagonal ball. They love to play Burnley, especially with that diagonal ball across, and he's always had trouble dealing with that kind of ball coming over. So I wonder if Mikel also identified that from previous matches and decided to bring in Chambers because obviously he's more defensive. He'll help us with the height, the physical element of Burnley's game. And possibly to combat that, that's what I was
love
thinking.
that because I had no idea. I was thinking, why isn't Bellerin playing? If you're resting Cedric, surely Bellerin plays. Or my theory was Cedric must be injured and he's saving Bellerin for Olympiacos. Therefore, Chambers is the third to the right back throne there. But no, that makes complete and utter sense. Absolutely.
Yeah, and the thing is about it as well is that he did just completely rest Cedric. We were wondering, could he be injured or something because he wasn't even on the bench. But he was completely rested for the game. So it must be what you're saying there, the reason why he put Chambers in. And in a way that kind of worked because I felt that Chambers did all right. He stopped a lot of crosses from coming in, which is what Burnley do. They're looking to get loads of crosses in for Chris Wood and those very big guys up front. They go the two players up front. He stopped the crosses from getting in and he defended very well. The only problem was he didn't get up and down the pitch like, say, a Bellerin or a Cedric would do. But yeah.
On the starting 11, I also thought Lacazette and Pepe were unlucky not to start. I thought they were excellent against Leicester, like really good. And I wasn't really sure. they merited dropping. I understand you want Aubameyang and Xhaka maybe to play them into form ahead of a big week, but yeah, strange one, but still a strong team. Can't really complain about it. Yeah.
Yep, and you know, of course, we went 1-0 up.
Yeah, we did.
We went 1-0 up. We didn't concede that early goal.
Should we look at that?
Let's look at that
now. Let's do it. As you know, we like to sort of recreate them as best as we can. There's a lot to admire about this goal. One of the things that you see at the very beginning is that Leno rolls it to Partey, who's dropped in to get it. Let's remember that when we talk about the goal we concede. But there's a lot to like about it, and I'll play it through. A lot of it is the way Partey looks after the ball and plays the 1-2 with Xhaka. It's obviously moving along quite quickly. Yeah. By the time Willian gives it to Aubameyang, it's all individual brilliance. You know, Aubameyang, he's made the space for himself. He's hit the ball, you know, superbly into a difficult area for Pope to get down to. I think he should have done better, but it is difficult. But the bit to really highlight is this bit here where Partey picks up the ball and Xhaka kind of holds his space. And what I like about Partey in this situation is he doesn't force the ball. He carries it. He looks after it a little bit before realising, now I can knock it and go. And he makes the goal for me. I thought Partey was brilliant in the first half. Dropped off in the second. But the other big part of this goal, if I just stop that there for a second to bring it back, when Partey gets the ball, it's that Willian's come into, I think what they call the half space. He's dropping in, Aubameyang's pulled wide, Willian and Odegaard are more central, and he's picked up the ball in between, in that area that, you know, is it Westwood's man, is it Brownhill's man, is it Tarkowski's got to pull up? It's very difficult for Burnley to mark, especially when they're playing a four-man midfield. He gets the ball, and then we're running sort of 4-on-4 at their back four, and to do that so early on in the game where Burnley would have wanted to keep things tight is very impressive, but that all comes down to Thomas Partey for me.
A Willian assist, by the way, Chelsea fans. That's another one. Yeah? Right? And Aubameyang, I felt it was a great finish because I felt that I thought he kind of did Pope with the eyes. I think Pope thought to himself, Aubameyang, the way he's shaping, he's going to do his usual, where he curls it into that right-hand corner. But he didn't. He went near post, and that's what did Pope. Maybe Pope could have done better, but I think he got done because he was expecting it to go the other side. Off to a great start, thinking to ourselves, here we go, it's going to be good. However, we concede. Let's go through the goal that we concede then.
Literally, that big sigh.
That sigh, you know what I mean? Oh.
The frustrating thing about this is, we said it in my fan cam, and you know, you guys have said on the aftermath. 4 goals, our last 4 goals conceded, all errors, all errors. You know, that didn't need to. That were so avoidable. I'm playing this goal back from not from where Leno gives it to Xhaka, but there's a moment before where Mary's got the ball. I'm going to give Burnley a little bit of credit here. They press us well, and the reason I know they press us well is because it's Matt Lowton who's up on Tierney there. That's their right back. Fair play. Goodmanson's pressing Mary. Fair play. Vidra's cutting the pass to Xhaka at first. And then obviously you got Wood sort of managing Louise, or maybe the long ball to Chambers, whatever. Mary knocks it back to Leno. I'm just going to play it through once. I mean, how do I design it better than that, guys? I don't know how else to...
It looks even worse like that.
It does. When it's dots on a screen, it's even more frustrating.
Oh my God.
Now everyone... go on.
Right, let me ask you this, right? Because there was a lot of dispute. Well, not a lot of dispute, but some... Well, no, actually, a lot of dispute.
We had a bit of dispute.
There was a lot of people saying... There's a lot of people saying it's Leno's fault.
Right, yeah.
Go long, just kick it out, right? There's a lot of people saying it's Leno's fault. There's obviously a lot of... it's Xhaka's, Xhaka's fault as well.
Like, yeah, it's his error.
Whose error was it?
Well, I think we all agree it's Xhaka's fault. It's more about how much blame you put on Leno for putting
Leno puts him under a lot of pressure, don't
he? That was my... Well, my view is, when you're a child, I mean, at even grassroots level, you're taught to... If you've got 2 players pressing, I know Arteta's teaching them to play a different way, pass out from the back. The first goal that's our style of play he's trying to bring to the team. So I understand that. But if you've got Xhaka, now we all know Xhaka, as our player, what's the one thing we all say? He don't play forward, he plays sideways. So for me, when I looked at that, the reason why I said Leno shouldn't have given Xhaka the ball, is for that reason. He had two players that were coming to press on him, and you've highlighted how well they were pressing at that point in the game. For me, that's just using your footballing brain. I know the manager tells them to do things. I'm sure he doesn't tell them make mistakes. So you just use a bit of intuition. Just don't put yourself under unnecessary pressure. See out the game till half time, yeah? See out the game till half time, go back in, regroup, yeah? We're winning 1-0. Let's get to half time 1-0. That was my only thing.
But
James.
the thing is about it, like you said, he goes backwards and sideways. Right. Why didn't he go, you know, he could have went sideways. If he's good at going sideways, why is he passing? I know he's gone sideways to Wood.
Yeah, but...
I look at that situation and I'm like, these are some of the scenarios that I looked at. I said, these are some of the things he could have done, even under pressure. Number one, he could have passed it straight back to Leno.
Yeah.
Let's move it along slightly.
Then what? Where's Leno going to then go when they're pressing again?
So that's the bit where he gets the ball. And I've tried to recreate this as accurately as possible, because there's no point. If Wood's slightly further back, then he's obviously cutting a pass to Louise. I'm trying to make it as accurate as possible. I agree with you. I think there's a few things he could do. And maybe I'm sort of, hindsight's a wonderful thing. I always like to say that. For me, there's this bit here, if we just play it through, when he gives it to Xhaka here, I know I'm asking a lot, and again, I've tried to draw it.
Touch it once.
I've tried to draw it as accurate as possible. I think there is a first-time pass to Louise. It's very risky. It's arguably more risky than what he's tried to do. But I think a player good enough, or confident enough in that position with his back to goal, like a Partey, I think Partey just knocks that round. I really do. I think he's good enough to do that. So fine, that's the first thing. The second thing is, Xhaka actually does well to get ahead of Vydra, and actually he's got a bit of space. It's not like Vidra's right up in the whole time. He takes a touch, and that's for me where he calls himself the problem. So I've tried to illustrate that. He takes a touch. And at that point, it's madness. Yes, okay, Leno, I think maybe has given him a pass that, in fairness, there's not a lot Xhaka can do. Yeah, because also he's played it to his weaker foot. That's true. Which is why his first touch was so bad. Yeah. But again, it's all hindsight. It's hindsight. I guess I'll put it this way. There's not a lot Xhaka can do, but there's enough he can do. Yeah. I think there's a lot he can do. You do? Okay. I think as a professional footballer, there's a lot he can do there, right? There's number one, right? He can pass it back to Leno. Pass it straight back for Leno to hoof the ball up the pitch, That's one. Number two, right, he can try something again that he's very good at. He gets his body in front of the ball like that, protects it. You're in the box, right? As soon as you feel any contact, you go down on the ball or whatever. Yeah. He could have done that. He's very good at doing that. Secondly, he could have cleared Wood, bang it, lift it, go high, over. Smash even if the ball goes out, right? Or use Chambers. Even if the ball goes out, he could have done that. Then there's another thing he could have done. He could have just hoofed it straight back for a corner. I mean, it's not the ideal thing, but you're under pressure. Just kick it out for a corner and just say, shoot, I had no choice. See, for me, the pass is to Chambers in that position. He's trying to ball turn and play it out. He's trying to forward. Asking a little too much. No, you know what he did though? He didn't try to go forward. He went sideways. Yeah, and he tried to curl it round Wood. And I'm like, what are you doing? Because that's a silly ball to try anyway. You've got someone in your line of vision. Like, why would you play that? What's the stat? I don't know if you have the stat there. It's 8 errors. Yeah, that was it. 8 errors he's made since 2016-17 that have directly led to a goal. Then you've already just said there about the amount of errors Arsenal have made. How much was it this season? The last how many games? 4. Oh well, it's all 4 of our last goals have all been errors. Right. But then if you then add to this, you start to see why Arsenal have been so poor this season, right? Self-inflicted. So the last 4 games, those errors, then factor in all the times players have been sent off. The last Burnley game, when Xhaka got sent off in that cost us. The game with Pepe when we drew against Leeds, stupid red card. How many? When you start to look at that and you think to yourself, all of those self-inflicted errors, had we have cut that out, the top 4 would be on now. You know, it must be really infuriating for the manager. Do you remember in our preview we said, I think we worked out there was something like 10 points dropped in the last month or 2, you know, because of errors and whatever. You can make that 12 now. And that's a massive jump. Massive jump. You know what we're going to go to now? Because we had some, as usual, some brilliant reaction from the fans afterwards. Some brilliant fan cams, right? Take a look at some of these ones.
What I don't understand is that it's so funny that he didn't get sent to the screen for the second one. But look how long he took. He gave the red card. Look how long it took. He didn't take that long for a penalty.
All right.
I'm sorry to be shouting. No, because I'm mad. That's what I mean. I'm sorry, brother. I don't mean to be shouting at you. No, he's no disrespect. He didn't take that long. He got the decision right. How is it they got that decision right, but got ours wrong? How? How is this? And like I said,
it's inconsistent. That's what I'm saying. It's totally inconsistent.
It's inconsistency. But I'll repeat again: for Peters to come out and do an interview after he should have given, drags the neck. I can't even get out my words. Drags and I don't laugh, the game's name in the mud.
Defenders that defend like this, are they stupid in the box? Defenders that go like this, that's why they go like this. They don't go like Batman, like flying antelope or whatever.
It's crazy. I can't listen, I'm with you.
These guys are so incompetent. When you go for those your meetings, tell them they're all incompetent. Sack all of them. Even, I want the championship. Have you really heard of any bad refereeing decisions in the championship without VAR? Bro, sack this man them now. Reshuffle them. Bench them. Send them down.
But those are the mistakes that he continually seems to make. He either makes a mistake by doing something silly and getting sent off, or he makes a mistake that ultimately leads to a goal. And I think you were telling me at halftime that was his 8th mistake in a certain period of time that have led to goals. Too many times this is happening. Once or twice even you can go, cool, everyone makes mistakes. But at what point do you learn from those mistakes? That's the issue here. And I've backed him more than anyone. But that is just inexcusable. He will know it. And everyone else will know it.
So you can see there, as DT said, Xhaka, over and over again, he keeps doing these things. I'm gonna ask 2 questions, and then of course Ty and Kelechi very, very angry, as were all fans, including me, about the referee. And I'll come to the referee in a minute, but first I'm going to ask you both, Xhaka, is he a liability? Is it like time to now just say, yo, enough is enough, man, see you later, when the summer comes? Or
Let you go first, Helen.
Because he has been playing okay this season. He has been fairly reliable, but the last Burnley game he cost us. He's cost us points again in this one. Do you get rid of him in the summer?
If someone comes in with good money, I think it would be wise to do so. I look at it slightly, the bigger picture, that since we've had Xhaka, I don't think we've played Champions League football.
No,
that concerns me more. They would be my reasons. I think he's a good enough player. I just don't think he's good enough to be in our Arsenal midfield, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I think if the offer's right, you do cash in. Coming from one of Xhaka's biggest critics, there's a lot to like about Xhaka. I think he's a committed individual.
Yeah.
I don't think he shies away from a game. He gets on the ball. We talk about players shying away and not. Don't think he's that. But do the pros outweigh the cons? For me, they don't. I'm very lucky. A lot of my falling in love with Arsenal came watching real technicians in midfield, and there's a lack of mobility in Xhaka to get him out of those real. Same with the Leicester goal. He found himself in a tricky situation. He couldn't quite get out of it. Yeah, we're not going to be the team we want to be with Xhaka in the heart of our midfield, but he does a job, and he's improved a lot this season. But if the offer's right, you cash in. Okay,
well, listen, we're going to get into the referee now. No, actually, no, in a second we're going to get into the referee. Just before that, this is not just, the referee's not the only reason, right? Well, we messed up this game. We also missed a lot of chances in the game, right? Saka, guilty. He's been brilliant this season, but he's guilty of missing a couple of chances. There was that one where he just poked it past the player.
Yeah,
I mean,
just
come
went
on,
wide,
a bit of composure there, finish. He's had a couple of moments like that this season where Leeds, remember that game?
Yeah, big one.
When we could have smashed and grabbed again, so he missed chances. Aubameyang missed a chance that he should really have done better with. Pepe, that chance where he completely miskicked the ball. We peppered them. We had that chance near the end with Ceballos where Chambers was getting in his way, hit the post. It just weren't going to be our day. However, there was also one big moment in the game, as Kelechi and Ty touched on there, the referee, the handball that wasn't given. There was 2 handball decisions. There was 1 and 2 moments where VAR was in play. The second handball, it definitely hit his shoulder. Even us here on the stream, when we saw it back, we're like, nah. Much as we want a penalty, we're looking at it, we go, it's hit his shoulder. It's not a penalty.
I was shocked when he sent him off.
Yeah, they reversed the decision. It wasn't a red card which was given, and we played on. And all of us, despite the fact that we were willing it to be and wanted it to be a goal, fair's fair. It's not a handball, it's not a red card. Well done, VAR, decision correct.
Yeah.
The first one, though, as you can see from the picture, right? I don't know. I don't even want to influence it. Let's start with you, Helen. Was that handball?
Of course it was handball. As obvious as a penalty as you're ever going to see at any level of football in any country around the world. That's a penalty.
As I said, his hands were in a natural position because he's an aeroplane. You know what I mean? And he's like, you know, so when you're an aeroplane, that's a natural. I mean, it was ridiculous.
The thing is, you can see by the picture, Pepe's trying to kick the ball, let's say, The guy's put his hand out. So how is that not a penalty?
Yeah. The words they used were proximity, basically saying the amount of time he had to move his arm from, you know, anyway.
Yeah, but it's not in a natural position, is it?
No, it's
jumping
not.
up, is it?
It's a penalty. It's a penalty.
Because when they do that in the air, when it's in the air, they say it's because they're using their arms to elevate.
You're going to see Dwight McNeil's thinking,
look at Dwight McNeil, he's like, what
are you doing? He's thinking, that's a pen ref.
That's a horrendous. Now, you know what? DT made a good point in that. He said even the assistant referee, the linesman as we used to call them, he stood right there looking at that. He should be waving his flag. They shouldn't even have to go to VAR. He should be waving his flag and helping the ref out and saying, nah, come on, that's penalty. Then it goes to VAR. What are they doing at this Stockley Park? It goes to VAR and they don't even send the referee over to have a look at that.
Shocking.
That is not a handball. If that's not a handball, then what's handball? Then somebody said in one of the comments, just don't have handball. Either have handball for every time it touches your hand, or don't have handball at all. Yeah. Or maybe go back to what it used to be, which is it has to be deliberate. I don't know, man. I don't. James, what's a handball?
I don't know. Arteta doesn't know. Should we read the Arteta quote actually really quickly?
Yeah, what did Arteta say about it?
On the handball, he said, I think it's obvious and clear. I think there is no debate about that. If that is not a penalty, then would someone explain what a penalty is in this league?
Anybody out there watching this programme, please explain what a handball is. Yeah? I'm going to give away a T-shirt, one of the U2B T-shirts, to the person who can explain to me what handball is. What's handball, Helen?
Well, when someone...
In the football now,
in the football now is if someone deliberately tries to stop the ball going past them, that's handball. Whether it's in the middle of the pitch, they might let it go on, but the ref will still blow for handball if it's deliberate. You see it all over the pitch.
You know the thing that annoyed me about this handball, right, is that it's not... All right, you know sometimes you have decisions where maybe the referee or maybe the guy... I'm not even going to blame the referee right now. I'm going to blame the guy at Stockley Park. Was it Kevin Friend who was doing that?
Was it?
I think it was, right? You have some decisions that you give and you're like, ooh, this is going to be very controversial. Let me check this again. I don't know, man. Ooh. You've got other decisions where you're like, I give this, no one's moaning. All the Burnley players are going to see that. Sean Dyche is going to see that. You're all going to know blatant handball. The whole world can see it's an obvious handball. This is easy to give. But he still didn't give it. And I just think now the VAR is ruining the game of football for me.
Yeah, it is.
I saw there was a handball the other day in the Man United game when they played Chelsea with Hudson-Odoi.
Yeah.
He obviously handballed the ball. They didn't give that one. I mean, I just don't know, you know what I mean? Are the referees just like saying, rebelling against the technology and say, right, you know, we're just going to F it up, right?
The thing is,
so that we don't have it no more.
Yeah, someone said that.
I don't know.
Actually, yeah.
But the thing is, the referee didn't even go to look at it. So what's that about? Why is the referee
Well, they
not
have to send him, isn't it? Don't they?
Well, so this is the thing that really frustrates me. And if you want a real example as to how incompetent they have been with their implementation of VAR, for me it's this, right? So they're looking at that. The ref's not giving it on the spot. The linesman's not giving it on the spot. Human error happens.
Yeah.
Someone at Stockley Park has looked at that and decided that it's not a penalty. I mean, really, they should have said, yeah, look, you got this wrong. It's a pen. And not sent him to to have a little look at it. But the thing that infuriates me...
No clear and obvious mistake.
Right, that's the word.
Yeah,
clear and obvious.
The term they've given.
But can you tell me that when Saka went down in the box against Leeds the first time, that was a clear and obvious mistake? I'll be honest, I was leaning towards it's probably not a pen, but the ref gave it because in real time, that's what he saw. And you got to take that into account. And then they sent him to the monitor, and then he made the decision that, yeah, I've clearly and obviously got that wrong. How have you clearly... I don't think you have. I actually think you might have got it right, mate. And for me, that is so worrying. How many red cards did Mike Dean have rescinded in a week? Was it 2?
Yeah.
The referees are awful. I have to be real about it. Did you guys hear the Lacazette scream?
Yeah, it was so loud.
What did you think of that, Helen?
I got worried. I thought he'd broke his leg or like a bone or something. Yeah.
Looked like he broke his toenail, maybe.
No, it was so loud.
It was a bit embarrassing,
I got so scared. But then my knowledge of footballers kicked straight in. I thought he would not have screamed like that if he was really hurt. Like from all my friends who play football always say if they're and he was rolling around, he was like, if they're moving, it's not a bad injury. So then I was like, oh, thank God he's okay.
He got called out on Match of the Day.
Did he?
Was a bit of it was a bit of a ridiculous scream.
It wasn't a good look.
It wasn't a good look.
It wasn't a good look. I was on Longstaff, one of the Longstaff brothers.
Yeah.
I was on Alioski, so I got to stay consistent. You know, what I would say, he was actually fouled. Like I'll give him that. It actually was a foul.
Dude, you know what? In a way,
it might have really hurt because if it caught him on
I think it was
the
more
shin,
the Achilles. I think
was it the Achilles? When it's like your funny bone.
Much.
No.
Yeah.
No. Listen. You know when you whack a funny bone or a certain point of the body, I'm going to defend him because I like Alex. I don't believe he's that kind of person.
You'd scream out like that.
No, but it might have hurt because I do. You know, like when I whack my funny bone, I'm like,
No, I get it.
So it might have been that kind
You
of
scream as
pain.
loud as that?
No, probably not that loud.
No, yeah, that's the difference. It's the scream, isn't it?
But
It's the
maybe,
scream.
But you know what?
Maybe the mics around the stadium were really near. You know, like for the cameras and the TV. You don't
It's starting
think?
to sound like Ty now. Helen, you started to sound like Ty. The mics were
defending my
there.
boy.
That is something that I'd hear from Ty.
Stand up for
right?
me.
You know what I think it is? I think he's like, you know what? Everybody else has been doing it.
Yeah.
People have been doing it on us and getting
It
away.
might be
I'm
because
going
of
to
the
do it as
referees
well.
he done it. It
Why
might be
not?
Get a bit of
So everyone
attention.
else is like diving, isn't it? Everyone else is diving on us, dive.
Someone made the point that if he saw Pepe was about to come on, he's thinking, I'll get their fullback booked.
Maybe. Tactics.
Look, I don't.
Dark arts, as they
The
say.
dark arts. Look, I don't like it, and I know what you mean. We've all played football. You have those moments where you get kicked and sort of all the blood rushes to that part of the body, and you think you've really hurt yourself.
Yeah.
And then actually you're like, actually this is all right. It's just impact. But the scream was a bit.
Yeah, it was very loud.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I think I screamed like that when Xhaka played that ball to.
Yeah, literally.
Played that ball to Chris Wood. Man of the match.
Yeah.
Ladies first. Who was your man of the match?
Lacazette for the scream. Who was my man of the match?
Let's bring up the 11s.
Right, while you're thinking about it,
Yeah, one of you two.
Louise gets it for me. I thought Mari had a really good game as well, but Louise because I just thought he was terrific on the ball. Off the ball, I think we kept them at bay. It's not easy to deal with Vidra and Wood, who cause you different problems. You know, the set pieces, I thought we dealt with really well. I don't think there was a moment where I thought, got away with that, or they forced a good save out of Leno. They had one moment where they got in behind and Leno made a great save from Wood, but other than that, I think we kept them at bay. And then if Partey had repeated his first half in the second half, he'd have got it, because I thought his first half he was
for me was
quality.
Partey,
Yeah. But,
what about you?
Yeah.
I'd go, can I do like one for the first half and one for the second half?
No.
Oh. I'm going to give it to Leno. Even though I said about the goal, only because, let me tell you, he pulled off that save, and had he not have, we would have lost that game. So I'm giving it to him for that save.
I'm going to give it to someone completely different to you two. I'm giving it to Pablo Mari. I thought it was another really solid performance by him. For me, that partnership that started that game is who I want to see start against Olympiacos and who I want to see start against Tottenham as well. That's a solid. I like Pablo Mari. I like what I'm seeing in this guy. He looks solid. He's got a little bit of pace on him. His positional sense is good, and he's so calm.
He's composed.
He's calm and composed, and don't, you know, let's have it right, you know. Coming into this league, you know, when you're facing teams like Burnley, you're not facing Burnleys in Brazil.
Yeah.
Brazilian when you're playing for Flamengo, where with guys like Chris Wood and Vidra and very physical set pieces, and you know, so I thought Pablo Mari did really, really well in the game. Finally, before we go, top sixes, any chance? I mean, notice I'm not talking about top four no more. Top six, any chance? The top six?
No.
I mean,
if we can stop gifting goals, that would be a good start, but I don't think we can make.
well, we've still got about 10 games left. We'd have to go on an amazing run. But I note that Tottenham, of course, who we've got next week, a couple of weeks ago, they were down and out, yeah? And they've won 3 games in a row. And all of a sudden now, you know, they're on 45 points. They're 2 points off the top 4.
There you go.
So it just goes to show, I mean, we got 38 points. We are starting to drift. You know, the team in 6th is Tottenham on 45. But this season's all about going on a run, isn't it?
And this is the frustrating thing, is that I think I tweeted this out. Since Boxing Day, we've played 13 games. We've won 7, drawn 3, lost 3 in the league alone. Now, for where we were and what everyone else is doing in the league, that's pretty good form, actually. Especially when you've had United in there, Leicester away, Chelsea. But the problem is that we've left ourselves too much work to do from the autumn. And I don't know what kind of gives us the right to think that we might go on a run that no one, bar City, has gone on this year. You know, no one. And that's the problem, you know, we're not going to do it. Because
but even a run of, if you went on a run, say, 4 or 5 games.
It's not enough.
No, I think that, to be
That
fair,
could
I think
propel
that
you
would,
up.
I
that
don't
would
think
carry-
it won't, because the
There's too many other
reality
teams
is there's
around
too many
there.
other teams that are going to pick up that amount of points. We
Yeah.
need to go on a run of 8 games, straight wins, however they get them. And the
Yeah,
only
wow.
we can't afford to lose another game. That's the reality. If we
And
picked
top
up
6 is done. 'Cause
Yeah, if we picked up 8 wins and 2 draws, mathematically, possibly we could, but can we do that? We can't afford to lose another game. We literally can't.
We've got a watch this come back to bite me. We've got a favourable run actually
end
after
of
the
the season.
Spurs game. Yeah, towards the end of the season.
Hopefully then.
So it can be done, but I just think we've left ourselves too much work. And I slightly disagree, Helen. I think if we got sort of 13 points of our next 5, I think you'd see us propel up the table quite a lot.
Yeah, but my point being is, if all the teams that are on around the same amount of points equally don't drop points, you're still going to be around 10th. That's the point.
Yeah.
That's
It's
my
about
point. I'm
whether
not
they
saying
go
we're
on that
not
run.
capable. Of course we're capable of it. I know we're capable of it. My problem is we are so inconsistent.
Yeah.
You're spot on. Well, listen, I want to thank you very much, Helen, for standing in for Cecil today. James, as usual, brilliant with all the stats and everything. And I want to thank you guys for listening. Don't forget to subscribe here to AFTV. Of course, we move on now to a couple of massive games. Olympiacos on Thursday, that's a huge game. Look out for all the content we're going to be doing around that. We're going to be doing a build up to that. We're also going to be speaking to some Olympiacos fans to get their views on Olympiacos here on AFTV. And then, of course, it's the North London Derby this week. We got tons of content around the North London Derby. Just our luck to be running into Spurs now, all of a sudden as they've hit form, Bale's from fire. And we need to stop them in their tracks as well. That's the big one come Sunday. We're going to be all over that. But thanks for watching the full-time show, and we will be back. Olympiacos next. Today's show is sponsored by Profit Accumulator, the UK's #1 match betting service. So what is match betting? It's a method that's used by individuals to profit from free bets and incentives offered by bookmakers. By leveraging one bookie's offer against another bookie's offer, it's possible to ensure that the odds are in your favour. And when you sign up to Profit Accumulator, they will walk you through how to do match betting with their easy to follow video guides. Profit Accumulator have a friendly 7-day-a-week customer support team that will help you with any questions that you might have. So what are you waiting for? Click the link in the description and you can start your Profit Accumulator journey today and you won't regret it.